We've seen how ruthless Meghan Markle can be, right? If you remember, she was supposedly good friends with the Hollywood actor George Clooney. That was at a point when he really was something of a superstar. So much so, of course, she didn't really know him or indeed his wife Amal, but decided to invite them rather than her own family to her wedding. Right? So suddenly, she's decided that, well, actually, these people like Oprah Winfrey and all the others that, she really had no time for or they had no time for her were vitally important now to rub shoulders, particularly given the opportunity of getting close to real royalty. According to a source, Meghan said it shouldn't be too difficult to get yourself pictured with the Queen. Oh, yes, as ever, allegedly. But what's interesting now is the fact that, well, as things move along, a bigger problem has arisen. Who remembers this particular outing for Prince Harry, where he told, well, a plethora of lies, literally on top of a tourist bus sailing round Los Angeles? Never had cycle rides, never went on a bus, didn't do this. Absolute rubbish and lie upon lie. And the master of ceremonies of that lie upon lie was none other than the, at time, CBS late night host James Corden. Now he, if you remember, chums, decided that he was going to come back to England because he missed England so much and consequently, wanted his children to be brought up here. He felt now was the right time, etc. As I told you at the time, CBS were having drastic cuts, and whichever way you look at it, the coincidence of James having to leave the late night show and return back to England rather than, of course, perhaps take a little bit less, or indeed face the harsh reality of the bullet, as ever, allegedly, well, it's odd, isn't it? Make of it what you will. Now, though, the tables have turned. As ever, let me explain. Morning, nice to see you, chums. Thank you so much for joining me today. We'll have a lovely wave. Are you all right today? I'm not so bad, thank you. Friendship's a funny thing in the world of show business, very strange. As you can imagine, I just keep myself to myself. I remember working with someone a while back and they said, oh, you must go to these parties, Neil, and you must do this and you must mingle. It's your shop window and this is how people will book you. I'd rather climb in the sea with Jaws. You know what I mean? I like real people. I'm more than happy to meet many of the chums sat on a bench in London or, a park or wherever I'm filming, and we put the world to rights. It's far more interesting. People have more interesting lives. They're not full of their own egos, and you just have warm, friendly conversation. Why would you want to have anything like that going to a celebrity party? But this is the fickle world of show business. And this man, James Corden, has something of a bad reputation, particularly where waiters and demands and all sorts of stuff have reared their ugly head from time to time. But of course, it was his association with the hot royal at the moment that made sure that his chat show landed, of course, the bus top tour with Prince Harry up and down Los Angeles. You get the picture. Now, what was interesting about this was it was very successful for James Corden because Harry, as I said, spun a tissue of lies. But because, of course, this was the, thing that they wanted to do at the time, James was more than happy to go along with it. Perhaps he had no control over it. Who knows? But the bosses were thrilled nonetheless. And this secured his reign for a little longer at least. Now, though, James wants a favour. And this is going to be interesting. In a couple of months' time, he's coming back to Broadway. Loves England so much, rush back to Broadway. A short stint playing in the dramatic piece called Art, a light comedy, very successful over here in the United Kingdom. I remember seeing the radio presenter Jamie Theakston in Art. I think it was at the Wyndham's Theatre. Brilliant, in fact, I have to say, should have done more acting. But the thing was, it was very, very good, very successful. Now James is going to be starring in that alongside Patrick J. Harris, right? Now, guess what? Unlike Meghan not wanting to show at George Clooney and indeed just bypassing her wedding friend to go and see somebody we barely knew but appeared in Gypsy, virtually a woman of colour cast, always keeping it to the 43% Nigerian, right? Well, now apparently James has said to bosses that he's confident Harry would indeed want to attend the big splash, the opening night, or at least pop along. Meghan, would she be coming? Convinced, and this will be the PR that they believe will help the show. Now, why is he so concerned about this? Well, you see, it's about celebrity friendship. He did that for the boss and him when he moved out to California, even though they were the sort of scantest of friends previously. Superficial friends, not besties or anything like that. And now the time has come for, reciprocation. It's basically like, you've got to do something for me because look what I did for you. Of course, that's a couple of months down the line, and as Harry and Meghan's pedigree sinks even lower, one might suggest, is this a wise idea? But in the battle for Broadway and hot tickets, anything to get eyeballs to the stage, the tickets, the box office is better than nothing. And that apparently is what the bosses of Art and James Corden are simply hoping for. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.